Hey, it's Jeremy from Jeremy.net. So, I'm working on my rough layouts for the final issue of my comic Morningstar. And in the image, it's going to be Lucifer pointing a gun slightly off panel while he's being engulfed in flames. So, I wanted to mention why I think it's important, almost critical, for artists to flip their pages, flip their artwork to look at the mirror image reverse version of it. As I'm going along in here, I've just quickly roughed out, the basic position of the figure and the anatomy. I add the details, his coat, his hair, his wings. And then, as I get, almost done with the layout, basically the last thing I do is I flip these over. I draw them on vellum so that as opposed to putting it on a light box, I can just flip it over and make corrections on the backside. And as soon as I flip, so far I'm pretty happy with this. I feel like, it's coming along pretty well. I've got some of the lighting effects in there kind of laid out. I pulled up some reference for the gun to look at. And then I go and flip the image. And when I look at this, my first instinct is like, woof. I don't like to beat myself up over my artwork, but I do call it out when I see things that are wonky and off. And overall, the posture of the figure isn't horrible, but the first thing that jumps out at me is that the head is just lopsided. The skull is just sort of like you took a normal human skull and you did a liquefy on it in Photoshop and you just shifted everything hard to the left. It's out of proportion, out of volume, and out of sync with the rest of the figure. It just doesn't look right on the head. So I need to come back in and correct that. Also, the hat's a little bit off of parallel. When I adjust the head, that'll probably, the edges of the hat will probably fall into the proper position. The far shoulder, the shoulder that's not holding the gun, is probably a little bit, it's not receding into the distance the way I should. I have the shoulder kind of coming a little bit too far forward, so you need to go in and adjust the entire shoulder and then the arm going away from it. In terms of the flames, the rest of around it, that's not really that important. I may adjust those anyway. It's all stuff I'm going to address in digital painting after I fix the line work. The flames are the things I'll address. But just looking in here, this is why, I have to give a shout out to my buddy Carl Altstetter, but he, for months was just like, you gotta flip your pages, you gotta flip your pages. You keep saying, why are my drawings bad? How do I get better? When you flip them like this, you can see all of the wonky things that you're not seeing. They jump out at you. Then it's on you to fix them. So it's on me to fix this page and get it ready for a digital painting. That's it for now. Go be creative.